Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. This is going to be a new series for Titan. It's going to be called, I guess, free-to-play Titan builds that are accessible for you. I won't ever be using Rumble plates in this series. I won't ever be using Sherry, Leo, Howdy. I won't be using any of the 500% ultimate plates that add 500% damage. And yeah, I will try to keep any rare characters and trainers, like super rare trainers and coaches, out of it. And then as far as fighters, I'll try to stick with like nothing like super rare. So, no like Texina, no Howdy, no stuff like that, no crazy stuff, right? So these will be builds you can actually run on your account and gameplay loops you can run on your account. So first things first, something that would be beneficial to all you guys, it doesn't matter what level Trickster Eddie is, he has a hot tag. So you don't need to take him to gold or anything like that. And he has a hot tag. So the most you would have to invest is 10 universal hype to get him to level 4 and 40 to get him to a tier 5 Titan. We're going to go against the tier 4 here. I am on the CC account because my Brawn Breaker has level 4 hype and he would live a very long time. It would skew the numbers. So we're using Bonebreaker. My free-to-play got him last month. My free-to-play also got Penta, so most of you, if you were playing a decent amount, should have obtained him. But this is kind of more in the spirit of this video series. We're going to use characters that most people have, or at least had a chance to get if they played on the regular, right? Moveset, the rarest trainer in here, and I'll cover this more in depth, is EO Sky. You don't need her, though. But I will cover that more in depth later. So let's jump in, and then at the end I'll talk about the straps. No plates in this one, but there is a plate you could use that would improve it, for sure would improve it. Also, I have no tour perks active on my CC account by design, so when tour perks go away, this is your same gameplay loop you will run. So the plate you could use is a Hulkamaniac plate. If you had a Hulkamaniac plate, you would do 3 row breaks, like so. And then try and set up for more row breaks in the future. What I mean by that is put your gems out kind of accordingly. So this would proc the Hogan plate, give you 200% more damage on your finisher here, which our finisher is doing 21 million damage, but we're also getting 7 million bonus damage per turn, up to 10 turns. So at the peak, we should be doing 70 million with this one and 21 million for this, so almost 100 million per move at the peak. Right now, we're going to get 24 and 15, right? And then that's your gameplay loop. That's all you have to do. So we'll just kind of run through this. You see how, like, leaving these set up, right? It's an easy row break. He chooses enough gems to set it up every time, really. So I am pretty sure that Hogan plate would be quite effective on him. You would get it pretty much every time unless you had really bad luck. So now we should do like, I think like 21 or 28 million on the bonus. I've lost track, right? 24 and 30. So now that's 54 million a pop, right? Which is decent. And this is with no plates. And you see how we're just setting it up so we can keep getting easy chooses, like so, right? That was a wild card. That would have got 21, I think, anyway, because I'm blind and I'm bad at it. Not that it matters. But that's all you're doing, and then every time... You can see Eddie's hot tag is loaded. We are not going to use him now, though. We don't need to. We're going to wait to the third turn. Eddie's going to come in and take the big hit, because he wouldn't be good damage, but Brawn is. So this... And you can run this Eddie in your second slot every single day to do hot tags with him. So he would be quite useful, right? So we hit our move. And then let's continue with our row breaking. Let's leave this one alone. That's what got me into wildcard trouble last time. 4. And then we can set up actually like that. Okay. Finisher again. So 24 and now 61. So that's like 80 million per hit, right? This is really nice when you don't have a lot of crazy plates, a lot of crazy stuff. This is something that, you know, a regular person can run, and to pretty solid effect as well. Let's go with that. Yeah, that's fine. Now, I think our finisher is getting really close to capped. Yeah, so that was almost 100 million there. Actually, I think that was 100 million on the nose, right? And if you're not sure when the boss is going to do his big hit, this red square will tell you. So this is the turn the boss does his big hit. So when we get down to one action left on our action bar, we're going to go ahead and hot tag Eddie in to take the hit. Let's go 4, and let's leave those and just do a 4 here like this. Now let's see what we hit for here. There you go. So we're capped out at basically 100 million per cycle, or per hit of this. So as long as you get it twice, that's 200 million, which is a decent chunk, right? Without having anything crazy. No plates in point of fact. 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. All right. So hit that again, and now here's where you hot tag Eddie in. Eddie can take one action, throw some leeches in, and we can... does this he blow up the board? If he doesn't blow up the board, he does. So he blows up the board, so let's just go ahead and do some damage with the leeches. Not a lot, but it's better than nothing. I don't even have a strap on Eddie, right? Not that it would particularly matter. He's literally there for the hot tag to get Brawn Breaker back in. Okay. Now Brawn comes back in. And we just repeat what we were going for, right? So let's just make that whole mess just for fun. All right, finisher, and you can see we're still at that 100 millionth mark, right? 4, 4. Set up, that set up, and that set up. So it's a really easy gameplay loop. You can also, so the other thing about this series, guys, is any of these people that you have that you are set up to work, you can always use them in the second slot each day. You don't have to use a hot tag, right? So if you have somebody that's good, that does good damage for you, more importantly, that's easy to play like this, right? Because you don't want to be like stressing every day of the week, right? You just want to be able to farm your chests and stuff for the mode, right? So yeah, this the idea of this series is going to be to focus on like quality of life stuff for you guys. And also, like, to be fair, anyone on a not massive account has been really kind of completely forgotten, left behind, and had no real content made for them for Titans. So understandably in that regard, because everyone's focusing on the new mode, how to do the most damage, how to clear the most stuff. But it's been long enough now. I think the focus should be on helping people set up realistic builds that they can obtain. So that's going to be what this series is all about. And I'll try and do like one video each day of Titan for a while, right? Like, so we get at least one of each class for you guys. But then I will also add in more for sure. Like, I'll do one with Muda without a purple Royal Rumble for those of you that have Muda but not a purple Royal Rumble at some point. Not at the start, because a lot of people don't have Muda. But I will do stuff like that. We'll be running Showboat Black without a yellow Royal Rumble on Showboat Day. And yeah, we're just going to do stuff like that. Stuff that will help you guys out with Titan. Um, you are not forgotten, and I will definitely be making content for you guys. So yeah, that's kind of what I got. We're almost done with this one, and then we can see what his overall damage ends up being. The goal should be to get the max chest with 1 energy. This is a tier 4. So the max chest with 1 energy will get you 3,000 hype currency every single day, which is very meaningful and impactful. Something you for sure should want on your account, right? So it hopefully will help you guys out. And if you guys want to see what this looks like next week with a Hogan plate on, if enough people let me know in the comments, I can put that plate on, because adding 200% every time we break 20 gems will certainly increase this finisher a fair amount, because the base damage on it is pretty nice to begin with. So yeah, if that's something you guys want to see, I'm trying to avoid that stuff on the first time through. So these are at least builds you guys can all run. But if you want to see like stuff you could grow into, if you get a Hogan from the Chest of Disappointment and Feud, which is definitely in there. I've gotten it before on Mherex. My free-to-play hasn't yet. And I kind of use in my free-to-play as sort of like a litmus for what is mostly available, right? And stuff like that. So, yeah. So yeah, I'm very curious to get you guys' feedback if this is something that's beneficial to you, if this is something you want to see, because I feel like it's something that's really lacking in the game right now for such an important mode. In fact, I believe this to be the most important mode in the game to play on a daily basis. You simply put, cannot miss out on this hype currency, right? That's my personal belief. So I want to help you guys to hopefully get it on farm as easy as possible. All right, let's see what Braun ended up doing, and then we'll look at what the top chest is. So he managed to put out 1.35 billion, and so I did 1.37 billion damage total, and we got the top chest on tier 4 with no plates, with no rare trainers or anything like that. And the top chest is 1.35. We just barely got it. So this build set up exactly like this with no plates would just squeak in and get you that top chest on tier 4 with 1 energy. And you could also always use them in the second slot too each day, right? So yeah, let's take a look at the builds. Also, if you're going to use Eddie like all the time, it would probably behoove you to set up a strap for him and things like that. But let's take a look at Bonebreaker. I do have, so my free-to-play could manage these medals, by the way. It has way more takedown than Fury medals, so I could do this on my free-to-play with the medals. But if you don't have these, use a black set in Takedown 2. I have 100% move damage strap on him. You would use the best move damage strap you have, and then you'd at least be able to get, the next chest, if not quite get this one, right? So he's somebody that you can use in this slot if you don't have a better one in the second slot. As we go through this series, you will see people that do more damage, and you could just run them in the second slot instead of Eddie. But for now, this is something like anyone can run. Entourage, we looked at a little bit. We're just using the choose move to load the finisher and its move damage people. So Lita for black finisher. Obviously, Gooker would be better, right? And then I think, is Kofi black move damage or green? So Gooker would be better here. And I think I'm trying to think if there's a black. No, purple and green, so no black. So it'd be Gooker and Lita would be your best two if you have it. And then if you don't have EO, you could also, if you have tour perks, use for the same 100%. What's his butt? He goes up to 100, and so does Rocky 76. But then you would lose out on, you'd start with 5 MP. So when tour perks go away in this mode, you would need to put Santa in instead. So just keep that in mind. But those are some subs you can make. Or like if you don't have a good if you don't have one of these leveled up, you put Santa Hogan here at 17k, and then use like Oscar for 150% black finisher down here to make up for it, right? So those are things you could do. And then the plate you could add in, which might be interesting to see how much it adds, is the Hogan plate, because we are hitting 21 gems quite often. It's Hulkamaniac plate, not Hogan. Hulk. Whenever you break 20 plus gems, increase your black move damage by 300% for 2 turns. It's actually 300%. So every time you do that, his base is, I want to say, 3 million. So you're going to get 9 million more damage every time you do that. It's going to increase your damage by 9 million. So it would definitely add up. So anyway, guys, this is the opening one for this. So we'll be back. There's no Titan today, so we'll be back either Sunday or Monday, probably Monday, knowing me, with the next in the loop, which let's take a look and see what that is. Also, if you want to, in the comments, throw down technician that you think you want to see. Technicians will be on Hogan, right? So tomorrow, Hogan in the lead slot. So if there's free to play friendly you want to see, no guarantee I'll do it, right? Because I have my own ideas and stuff. But it'll help. If not, if I don't do it this week, maybe I'll do it a future one. And also, always curious who you guys are thinking you might want to see. But again, without crazy plates and that kind of stuff, the focus on this is going to be to help people without a bunch of insane stuff, right? So if there's somebody you really want to see, like if you want to see Julius without a Tama and it's a trap, that's fine. If you want to see Ilya without a green Piper, that's fine. These are things that we could potentially do. You know what I mean? Like if you want to see him without a rainbow snowfall, for example, you know what I mean? Nothing crazy. You want to see Mercy the Buzzard, with like a Will of Jade, I don't consider a crazy plate, so I would use a Will of Jade. And we could use him with like a really good tag link, the Wyatt 6. So we could use Mercy with like Joe Gacy, because you guys would have Joe Gacy, Pig Boy. And that would increase his multiply strength by 6, just for example. If you wanted to see that, we could do something like that. Mercy's not quite as rare, but like or not quite as obtainable, but more obtainable now as shards have been around a lot. Shredder was free if you were playing then, so like he would be a good one, right? Just that's kind of the idea behind it. So let me know what you think in the comments. We could use CM Punk, surely, Tech Punk, right? He's somebody we could use, although this account is going to have some gears, so you'll have to take at least one gear into account, because this, well, we can ignore the MP one, which I would, but the 3 multiply gear would be on there, right? And he does have this moment, which would also add really nothing other than 50% more gem damage. So not that big a deal. I could put a 50% strap on him and pretty much show you guys that. But yeah, that's what I have planned. So hopefully this video does okay and helps you guys out, and very curious what you think. So give me your feedback in your comments. Other than that, guys, I appreciate you watching. Have a great weekend, and good luck out there. Yeah. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get you guys like top chests with 1 energy and stuff without crazy stuff.